the bustling city of Lagos lived a vibrant young woman named Tolu. She was kind, funny, and hardworking, but she had one tiny problem. She was obsessed with Korean dramas. From her early teens, she spent countless nights binging on series like Descendants of the Sun and Crash Landing on You. Her room was a shrine to her obsession. Posters of Korean actors adorned her walls. Her ringtone was a K-drama theme song, and she often practiced Korean phrases in front of her mirror. Her friends called her Mrs. Oppa because she believed her future husband would look and act like the suave, caring Korean leads. "I can't date just anyone," Tolu often said. "My man must be tall, romantic, and know how to cook noodles like they do in K-dramas." Linda, her best friend, always shook her head. "Tolu, this is Nigeria. If you keep waiting for a K-drama prince, you'll miss out on real-life kings." Determined to find her Appa, Amaka went on several dates. But things didn't go as planned. Her first date was Kingsley, a banker. Kingsley was a well-dressed, successful banker who took Tolu to a fancy restaurant. But the date turned awkward when Amaka said, "You should pull my chair out for me." Kingsley frowned. "Why? Are you injured?" By the end of the meal, she realized Kingsley had never heard of K-dramas and didn't care about romantic gestures. Her second date was with Toby, the music producer. Toby was tall and handsome, just like she imagined, but he couldn't stop scrolling through his phone during their date. When she mentioned her love for Korean dramas, he laughed and said, "You watch those nonsense movies?" "I beg, life is not a movie." After a few more disappointing dates, Tolu started to wonder if she would ever find someone who matched her unrealistic standards. One hot Saturday afternoon, Tolu was at the mechanic's shop with her brother, waiting for his car to be repaired. She was sulking, scrolling through her phone, and ignoring everyone around her. "Excuse me," a deep voice interrupted her thoughts. She looked up to see a tall, dark-skinned man with a cheerful smile. He was holding a bottle of water and gestured toward her. "You look tired. Would you like some water?" he asked politely. Tolu blinked, surprised. "Oh, thank you." His name was Frederick, and he was a small business owner who sold spare parts nearby. They got talking, and to Amaka's surprise, Frederick was funny, smart, and incredibly kind. He didn't fit her Appa fantasy, but there was something about him that felt real. Over the next few weeks, Frederick and Tolu grew closer. He took her on simple, thoughtful dates, suya stands, strolls through the local market, and evening chats at his shop. One day, Frederick surprised her with a box of her favorite Korean snacks he had found in a specialty store. "How did you know I like these?" she asked, shocked. "You talk about Korea so much, I figured I should learn a little," Frederick said with a grin. But Tolu Appa obsession still got in the way sometimes. "Frederick, why don't you do dramatic love gestures like they do in K-dramas?" she asked one evening. Frederick laughed. "Tolu, life isn't a movie. Love isn't about grand gestures. It's about the small things, like being there for each other every day." Tolu rolled her eyes, but deep down, his words stayed with her. One day, Tolu's boss gave her a big project at work. She was stressed and overwhelmed, staying late at the office to meet deadlines. On the third day of her struggles, Frederick showed up at her office with a packed lunch. "You didn't eat yesterday, did you?" he asked, placing the food on her desk. Tolu was speechless. No one had ever paid attention to her like this, not even the men she had dated before. That night, as she ate the meal Frederick prepared, she realized something important. Love wasn't about flashy romance or perfect looks. It was about effort, thoughtfulness, and being present. Tolu started to see Frederick in a new light. He wasn't an Appa, but he was real, dependable, and made her laugh. He accepted her quirks and even joined her in watching a few Korean dramas, though he fell asleep halfway. One evening, Frederick took her to his workshop, where he showed her a bench he had built himself. "This is my world, Tolu. It's not glamorous, but it's honest," he said. Tolu smiled. And I like it, because it's you. Tolu and Frederick relationship grew stronger, built on mutual respect and understanding. Amaka still loved her K-dramas, but she no longer chased unrealistic fantasies. She realized that real-life love wasn't about perfection. It was about finding someone who cared enough to meet you halfway, flaws and all.